Eric J on Sports. I'm Eric J, and this is what I think. As a sports fan, there are two things that have always annoyed me. One is MVP voting, but that's another conversation for another day. And the other one is rankings, polls, lists, things like that. And the reason I'm so bothered by this is because I get that they're subjective, but people who create these rankings get in their mind that certain teams are good and certain other teams are bad, and nothing that's done will change their mind. Instead of ranking the teams based on what they see that particular week, they'll rank them based on what they think the team is going to do, even if the team is not doing anything right now. Case in point, the Kansas City Chiefs, who appeared in the last two Super Bowls, are currently sitting 1-2 on the season after 3 games and in 4th place in the AFC West. Now, CBS Sports has the Kansas City Chiefs ranked 12th, behind all the other teams in the AFC West and behind the Baltimore Ravens, who defeated the Chiefs. ESPN has the Chiefs ranked 10th, behind the Raiders, behind the Chargers, but ahead of the 3-0 Denver Broncos. Now, don't get me started on the Broncos, because the Broncos are 3-0, but they defeated 3 teams whose combined record is 0-9. So as soon as they beat a team with a pulse, then come back and we can discuss the Broncos. But for right now, the Chiefs at 1-2, 4th place in the division, are ranked ahead of the 3-0 Broncos, 2nd place in the division. Now, that's not what's maddening. What's maddening is the fact that on NFL.com, the NFL Network's app, the Kansas City Chiefs are ranked 6th, 1 place behind the Baltimore Ravens, who are ranked 5th. Now, that makes sense because the Baltimore Ravens defeated the Chiefs. But the Chiefs are ranked 3 spots ahead of the Las Vegas Raiders, who are 3-0 and defeated the Baltimore Ravens, and 4 spaces ahead of the Chargers in 10th place, who just defeated the Chiefs. So my question is, why are the Chiefs ranked so high by a network whose sole purpose is to discuss football, as opposed to these other sites, ESPN and CBS, that discuss all sports, when the Chiefs have done nothing this year? Now, for those of you who haven't been paying attention, let me play out how the season went. The Raiders opened their season on Monday night against the Ravens. The Raiders took the Ravens to overtime, or the Ravens took the Raiders to overtime, but the Raiders emerged victorious. Now, the Ravens, on a short week, fly from Vegas back to Baltimore and then play a game against the Chiefs. Now, the Chiefs go in and the Baltimore Ravens win the game. So, on a short week, the Ravens defeated the defending AFC champions. But then the Chiefs come back and play against the Los Angeles Chargers, and the final score of the game was not even indicative of how one-sided the game was. But NFL.com, a network and website devoted exclusively and solely to football, says that the Chiefs are still better than the Chargers and the Raiders. So you're looking at 2 teams, one team that beat the Chiefs, and then one team that beat a team that beat the Chiefs. But they're not better than the Chiefs. So what's the problem? Well, the problem is this. These rankings are created preseason. They do it in college, they do it in the NFL. And teams will be ranked based on potential. Teams will be ranked based on what they did the previous season. And of course, at the beginning of the season, the Chiefs should be ranked 2nd behind the Buccaneers, or even 1st if you think the Chiefs are actually better than the Buccaneers. But since the Chiefs have lost 2 straight games, seemingly they should have fallen further than from 1 to 6. But the people who make these lists, who create these polls, believe that just because you lost, if you're the 1st place team or the 2nd place team and you lose to a 10th place team, you shouldn't be punished very far. But if you're the 22nd place team and you beat a team ahead of you, you move up. But then if you're the 15th best and you defeat the 5th best team, then the fifth best team shouldn't be punished, but you should be rewarded for your victory. So that is why the Raiders, who were ranked in the low 20s to begin the season, are now ranked 9th in NFL.com because they beat a top 5 team in the Baltimore Ravens. When in fact they've actually beaten 3 teams who all had 10 wins the year before: the Ravens, the Steelers, and the Dolphins. But the Chiefs don't deserve to be punished by losing to a team that started in the low teens, high 20s in the rankings. So that is why the Chiefs are still 6th and the Chargers are 10th. Instead of saying, okay, the Chiefs are 1-2, the Chargers are 2-1, the Raiders are 3-0. Right now, the Raiders are playing better than the Chiefs. Right now, the Chargers are playing better than the Chiefs. Right now, the Raiders are playing better than the Ravens. They say, no, these guys were going to be better. These guys will probably be better at the end of the season. So why punish them for a couple of hiccups? Well, it's not hiccups. If this was boxing and the Chiefs were the champions and the Chargers come in as the 10th ranked heavyweight and then knock out the champion, then the Chargers would be world champion and the Chiefs would be back in the rankings. But it's not boxing, it's football, and football is subjective. It doesn't matter what happens on the field, because in these polls it matters what you feel. And what they feel, the people who created these polls, is that the Chiefs are still better than the Chargers, the Ravens are still better than the Raiders, even though these teams beat the other teams. It's dumb. I don't like it. But until I can do something about it, it will always be this way. The rankings will always be based on who they think is better and who they think is going to be better at the end of the season, as opposed to what's going on today. We don't want to look at today, because then it'll give us the opportunity to say, you know what, I was wrong. Maybe the Chiefs aren't very good. As opposed to, the Chiefs are great, then when they lose, that's okay, they're still going to be great. And then if they finish the season 14-2 or 13-3, see, I told you they were going to be great. But if they fall and finish the season 8-8, it's, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. The Chiefs were supposed to be great. I wasn't wrong, because they could have been great, but here's 15 excuses to make up for why they weren't great. It's subjective. You have a vote, you have a voice, or you create a list, and it's your list, it's your opinion. That's cool. That doesn't mean me or any other sports fan has to actually like it or believe in it. Remember to like and share this video and subscribe to this YouTube channel, and follow me on Facebook at Eric J on Sports 1 and on Instagram and Twitter at Eric J on Sports. For Eric J on Sports, I'm Eric J, and this is what I think.